Welcome, beautiful souls. I'm doing something a little different today. I got actually a new Oracle deck just to add to my collection of 50 plus decks now. I also did a pre-order one that I'm really excited about that is actually from the same person who did this one. So I'm going to do a unboxing and then I'm doing the weekly energy forecast. So if you're not interested in the unboxing, you can just fast forward if you're watching the replay. Hi Steph, how you going? I'm just about to do a quick unboxing of this new Oracle deck that I got. And then I'm going to get stuck into the weekly energy forecast, which will be from the 9th through to the 15th of October. So how you going, Steph? I hope that you're well. So this one here is called, it's actually from a series. This is the first one of the series that I've got, and it's Seasons of the Witch. This is the Marbon Oracle, okay, which the Northern Hemisphere just had this on the fall equinox, okay, the autumn equinox. And it's by Lorraine Anderson and Juliet Diaz. And it's illustrated by Tiana Lukovic. I might be pronouncing that incorrectly, apologies if I am. So it comes with your typical little guidebook. Okay, I always recommend for people who are starting out, you can take a flip through the guidebook. You can start by pulling a card and then kind of seeing what your intuition says and then having a look at the guidebook. And then I do recommend with time that you just no longer look at guidebooks. Stop looking at them and just fully trust the intuition and the messages that you're receiving through your own inner guide or from your spirit guides if you're connecting that way too. So, all right, I'm so excited. I love getting a new deck. All right, so I'll just take this off. Okay, first of all, look at this. I love this. I love when decks do this. And of course, with time when you use them, they do start to scratch off, but still, it's just so beautiful. And then this is the back of the cards, which I absolutely love. This is like perfect for like Halloween vibes, Samhain vibes. They do a Samhain deck as well, but this still gives me that Halloween vibe and definitely great for autumn and fall. And that is my favorite season. So even though it's spring here in Australia and I'm enjoying the sunshine, the warmth, I love autumn and I'd love to be experiencing autumn right now. Thank you, Steph. Steph says that all is well. First of all, I'm so happy to hear that. And that you have been a busy lady. All good things for you. Very exciting. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. So I'm definitely going to be using these in the weekly energy forecast that we're going to do. So I'm just going to quickly just pull out a couple of random cards. So the illustrations on this to me are really, really beautiful. I have had seen a few online already, but I'll just show you. So, and obviously you've got you'll have further ones, further information on each card within the guidebook. So you see here, so it kind of has further message, but really you've got the title of it. So for example, we have Ghost Whisperer for this one, and it's a number 18. I like when they're numbered because you can use that for numerology. Okay, so I always go 18. So if that's 18, I then go 1 plus 8 is 9, and then I'll do the numerology of 9. So be still in the whispers that ebb and flow through the silence. So that's a beautiful message on its own, and you can, when you're using cards, you can tap into that message and just see where that fits for you, or see where in your life that resonates. And I do recommend that sometimes we ask questions when we're using cards, whether it's tarot or oracle. However, never do a yes no. Okay, so it could be okay, if you're wondering about a certain situation, you can ask for guidance around that situation. You can also, sometimes just ask the question of, what do I need to know today? What is it that I need to know for this week? Hi, how you going? So I'm just doing a quick little unboxing and then I'm getting stuck into the weekly energy forecast. Okay, so, oh God, these are beautiful. Look at this one as well. So you can also get more messages as well, and more tuning in with your intuition to the artwork. Okay, so for example, the Ghost Whisperer I picked up before, you see how on this book here, okay, so she's got a snake and then there is an owl. So the symbolism of snakes is shedding all that's not for you, transformation and rebirth. There's also the owl. It talks about really intuitive and psychic abilities, but also the owl has a lot of wisdom. The owl just knows when the right time is to go. It's also, if you think about owls, they come out at nighttime. So they are navigating the night through their senses, through what they feel, what maybe they hear, not necessarily what they see, okay, because it's dark. So they're going through their other senses, and then they know when the right time. So if you think about this, where it says, be still in the whispers that ebb and flow through the silence. So be still to receive the messages. And when we are in ebb and flow and silence, it can feel like we're in a little bit of that darkness, a little bit of the void. And so the owl is letting you know to really tune in to those extended senses that we have, and to really listen to that, and to trust what you receive through your intuition. Trust your intuition more than you trust a reading you receive, whether it's a collective reading or a personal reading. Trust your intuition over advice that you receive from others. It's okay to ask for advice. There's nothing wrong with that. That's annoying when you get unsolicited advice, but still, most people mean well. Okay, so I'm just going to show a couple more cards, and I'm going to cleanse the deck. So if you're unsure of how to do that, I'll show you a couple of ways, and then we'll move into the energy forecast. Okay. So as you can see, the vibe is very Halloween, is very fall, autumn energy. You have Harvest Witch here as well. Very, very autumn when you think of harvest. And then for example, we have Haunted House here. And the message is, the things that haunt you are the things you have yet to let go of. Which I can even think about things in my own life when I read that message. Kitchen Witchery. I mean, look, I love any witch deck, which is why I grabbed the Modern Witch Tarot deck as well. Just thought I'll just add all the witchy ones. Okay, so I'm going to quickly show you, if you're unaware, of how to cleanse a deck. So I always like to, when I get a new deck, whether tarot or oracle, I always like to have a flip through. I tend to touch every card, not always. Some people really prefer to sit with a deck for a few days, even sleep with it under their pillow or next to them, to really kind of, bond with the energy of it. That's optional. It's with anything when it comes to anything in your life, really, but we're talking spiritual stuff here, right? It's always best to do what feels right for you, not what someone else tells you, right? So there's a few ways that you can cleanse a deck. You could use a cleansing spray. So this is a cleansing spray I have. You could quickly just kind of do that over. You could use a cleansing bundle to smoke, okay? You can also use a clear crystal, something like a selenite or a clear quartz. This isn't one of those, but still, it doesn't really matter. If you have a really high vibrational crystal, you can place that on top and envision a white light coming through, and that's cleansing the energy. You could also just envision a white light and hold the intention that that's coming through, and then give it 3 knocks. I always say 3 for me personally, because it's very witchy, the 3, the power of 3, the intention of 3. And just like with anything, your intention is the most important. Your intention is what will make something work, okay? It will. So whatever feels right for you. So I'm going to give them a quick shuffle, and then we'll get stuck into this energy forecast. I said at the beginning, but I ordered another deck on pre-order by the same person who does this. Okay, so a little stiff, which is pretty normal for decks, especially when they have the edging on them. But not too bad. Okay, it works better that way. And, okay, yeah, so I'm just going to, you can also do a knock, right? Knock out the energy. That's a great one too when you've been using a deck for a while and the messages are coming out confusing you. That tends to mean that there's stagnant energy that just needs to be removed. And so you can do that with the ways that I mentioned. I'm just going to use a crystal. And the reason we cleanse it is because it's been touched by other people's energy, right? People in the factory that are making it. Hey, Nog, how you going? People, yeah, who have touched it, where it's gone in the post, all of that. Okay, so we're gonna get stuck into this. So this week, guys, okay, well, obviously we're in eclipse season. Major change, transformation, a good time to kind of just let things unfold for you. Again, listen to your intuition, because just because it's eclipse season doesn't mean that you can't take action, doesn't mean you can't launch something. You know, it's we never give our power away to anything. We just kind of use it as a guide. But personally for me, eclipse seasons have been, it's dependent. It's dependent on how it hits my chart, dependent on how it resonates with what's going on in my chart and with what's happening. So this eclipse season is happening through Libra season, okay? Libra south nodes, we've currently got the nodes in the north node of Aries and the south node of Libra, and they're actually my birth nodes. So I'm kind of going through my nodal return right now. I won't go into detail about nodes because I'll be here forever, but by all means, if you want to look further on that, I personally find that ever since I learned about the nodes, I was like, this resonates so much, like crazy so much with how much it resonates. And then if you know your birth time, you can have a look at the houses that they're in, and the houses even give you even more information as well. Okay, yeah, so we're in eclipse season. Tend to the flow. Some of you might even be feeling like you're wanting reinvention. Like you might even find yourself in this period of like, shit, I kind of feel like I'm not sure of who I am anymore. It's not that you don't know, so don't freak out if that's you. I find that this tends to come up when we're about to be initiated into something else, or we're about to step into something else. And this just could be our next version. This could be a new, you know, like exploring different sides of ourselves as well. So you could be really feeling this energy of reinvention. You could be feeling an energy of taking it slow and slowing down. You could be connecting to ancestors, I'm hearing. It's not surprising. We're in October, and Samhain is, you know, the holiday that can be known as Halloween, but really Samhain is when you connect to your ancestors. It's also in different cultures, it is called different things, and they have different practices and all that kind of stuff. For me personally, when I practice my witchcraft or any spiritual practice, I go where not only am I drawn to, but really what resonates. And what I find always resonates for me is my own ancestry. So the practices my ancestors have done, and with where I originate from within my ancestry as well. Because my ancestors are not from Australia. A lot of them are from Scotland. So I've been really tapping into that energy. And in fact, my sister and my parents were over there a few months ago, some months ago now actually, and they went to a small village where my great-grandfather times 2, or maybe it was 3, lived. And they actually found his gravesite with like his full name, and to see my maiden name on there as well, it was just like, oh wow, it's just really cool. And I've always felt really drawn to Scotland, so I do look forward to visiting at some point. And there's a lot of history too around there in regards to with the witch hunts and things like that. Okay, so that's shuffled enough. And got a new moon too, guys, this week on the 14th or the 15th, depending on where you are. I'm going to have something within my membership on the 14th where we're going to really tap into eclipse season, talking about transitions, talking about initiations, talking about change. And what I like about the circles and the events that I hold within my membership is like, it's everyone's contributing. Like it's not just me talking and just teaching, because it's not necessarily my style. I find that things flow a lot better when like I'm getting other people involved in the conversation. We're all learning from each other, which is awesome. I find that to be really, really beneficial, and I'm always constantly learning too. And then yeah, we'll do like a tarot reading, obviously, for the new moon. This is going to be in the sign of Libra. It's a solar eclipse. So again, don't be surprised if your sleep's a bit off, or if you're feeling, and you could, whatever emotion you're feeling, don't judge it. Just allow it to show up. Allow it to show up. All right, that's enough shuffling now. If you're on the live right now or watching the replay, just take a couple of deep breaths. Just get yourself centered and hold the intention that you'll receive a message that you need, that is for you right now. As always, this is a general collective, so just take what resonates, leave what does not. You'll know if it doesn't resonate. You either feel it, or if you're trying to like force it to fit somewhere in your life, the message isn't for you. You'll know. Okay, trust your intuition. Okay, this week stays from the 9th through to the 15th. Ooh. Ah, that's beautiful. Okay, first of all, if you're into like herbalism or anything like that, and especially if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, this is the perfect time to make fire cider. Now, however, if you're not, it's fine. That's not really what the message is, but it's just something that I'm going to mention because it can be really nice to connect with the plants and put your intention into it. I find that it makes the creation so much more powerful that way. And there's a lot of beautiful medicinal properties within herbs as well, but also the energetics of it as well. So there's the energetic side, and then there's the medicinal side. So fire cider, we have dwell in the medicine that exists to protect the spirit. So dwell in the medicine that exists to protect the spirit. I'm just going to show you the card. The first thing that I get with this is what is your medicine that protects your peace? What is the medicine that gets you grounded and centered? What is the medicine that allows more ease into your life? Because we go through ebbs and flows, and sometimes we go through periods that aren't super easy, right? But what can you do to help bring in more ease? What works for you? What works for me might not work for you. Okay, personally for me, nature's everything to me. Mother Earth is everything. I will lay on her. I will feel the heartbeat of her, hugging a tree, connecting to a tree. Like that's what gets me really centered and creates more ease, but also where I allow myself to slow down. Okay, I think it's really important to get to know our own energy style because we're all different. We all have different imprints of that, right? And depending on our nervous system, I'm kind of entering more into a phase of where I just want to heal my nervous system. I just want to feel peace. I just want to feel calm after spending majority of my life up until like 30. Oh, I mean, I'm 36 now, right? So really 36, at the beginning of this year, I started to go through the process of really healing the nervous system because I was in constant fight or flight, which just means that my body was in constant stress mode. And the crazy thing is, with time, we get really used to that and comfortable in that, and we don't realize we're in that stress, which not only does so much to us on an energetic level, but on a physical level, right? So getting to know our energy. Sometimes you might find that you're super creative or a lot of energy in the morning. Then you might find that's more in the evening or the middle of the day, or maybe there are certain days that you feel that more than others. So listen to your body and really get to know your own energy. So what brings you ease and what do you like to do? Feel free to share in the comments, by the way, if you want to, in the live or the replay, on what you like to do, what helps you. I always find that when we share, and it doesn't have to be like crazy personal, right? But if we share, it can give other people ideas as well and be like, oh, that kind of resonates. I should try that. So yeah, dwell on the medicine that exists to protect the spirit. It's just this feeling of like letting go. Is there anything that you might be holding on to? Is there a toxic situation that it's hard to kind of release, whether this is a person or a situation itself? So just have a think about that. All right, let's get another one, please. This is really easy to shuffle, by the way. Okay, we have St. John's wort and marigold, I think is how you pronounce it, or it's marigold. Okay, so both of these are herbs. Marigolds are actually a flower. So against your will, there will not be. No entrance, no welcoming, be gone. Against your will, there will not be. No entrance, no welcoming, be gone. This is really fitting into the fire cider energy that we just spoke about, because you can say no. You can have boundaries. You can say no. And sometimes it's not about putting a harsh boundary down. Sometimes, I don't call it harsh, like a very firm boundary, right? That we can have that. But then sometimes it's just like someone says, hey, do you want to do this? Or hey, can we do this? And you're really just feeling like, I don't have the capacity for that at the moment. Whether you're, focusing on something else or whether you're feeling really drained or tired, you're allowed to say no. Okay, it does not make you a bad person. So I'm getting really like an energy here of boundaries. Okay, it's like letting people know, like, you are not welcome. You do not get to enter my life if you are toxic, if you put me down, if you are disloyal. I mean, this is all dependent on your own personal values, right? For me, values when it comes to whether it's a relationship, like a romantic, or whether it's friendship, if there's no loyalty, be gone, like it says on here. Like, I do not have that, right? Because loyalty is so much to me. I'm such a loyal person, and if I'm not receiving that back on a realistic level, right? Just like the basic of it, just the foundation of the meaning of loyalty, then I don't have time for it. So if you're unsure of like, well, I feel like this person's kind of overstepping a boundary, but maybe you haven't communicated that boundary, because we have to remember, we can't expect people to read our minds. Some people come with good intentions. They don't realize that they're overstepping. And so we have to communicate that, and we can communicate that in a really loving manner. Sometimes we've got to communicate it in a very firm manner. It depends on the situation and the person. So just think about that as well. But a really good way to get clear on this is get clear on your values. So write down your top 10 to 20 values, okay? And then bring it up to 5, and or you can bring it up to 10 if you did 20, but then bring it up to your top 5. Your top 5 are your non-negotiables, okay? Your non-negotiables. Okay, I'm just going to read a couple of comments here on regards to what people do to recenter and to bring more ease. So Nung says, I love nature, taking myself out to lunch or sitting alone in the mountains. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, the mountains have such a strong, beautiful energy. It's so grounding and so centering. And I love it, like taking yourself out for lunch. I think that's what's so important, is being able to sit in our own company with zero distractions. I think that is such a comforting thing, and I get it can be really uncomfortable for some people. It used to be really uncomfortable for me. But the more that we do it, the more that we just gain such a really close connection to ourselves. Okay? And we have Cynthia here. So I go outside, spend time with my horses and nature. See, so much more nature here. I even physically hug trees. I love physically hugging trees. I have the biggest tree outside my house, and it's my favorite. And I will hug it, and my neighbors sometimes see me, and I'm just like, hey, what's up? you have a weird witchy neighbor. But also, go and hug a tree. You'll like it. And spending time, horses are so beautiful. I love the energy of horses. They have such beautiful energy. They really, really do. So again, if you're watching the replay and you want to put in the comments on what you do, please share. I love to read them, and because I'll always respond. I always respond when people leave a message. Okay. One more. This one, we'll move into the tarot. Maple tree. Speaking of trees, there is a change coming that is so big it will shift all that exists. Welcome to eclipse season. If you are feeling this energy, don't try and rush to it. Don't try and force the process. Allow it to take place. Allow it to unfold. Listen to your inner guidance. Okay, you'll know when maybe you need to take action. You also know when you just need to let things flow and take a step back, get more into that Empress energy versus the Emperor energy, so the feminine versus the masculine. And know that sometimes an initiation needs to take place, and we can't bypass an initiation. As much as sometimes we want to, because initiation sometimes gets really difficult, but we can't bypass it. And we learn so much wisdom through the experience and through the process, and know as well that you don't have to do it alone. Sometimes I go through an initiation and I'm good for a while to just be doing it on my own. And then at some point I'm like, yeah, no, I need a little bit of external guidance or help with this or some energy healing, like whatever it is. There's no right or wrong. but just know that you don't have to do like any sort of initiation or going through life alone, okay? So there is a change coming that is so big, it will shift all that exists. If you're on the live right now and this is resonating, please let me know. This is resonating for me. It's been resonating for a while, this message. And as much as like, I want to know what the answer is, the thing is, even if you're psychic, even if you've got that direct line where you connect, spirit will still go, you're not to know. You're not to know. Sometimes I get given a heads up. Sometimes I get given a glimpse of the path, but I don't always get everything because I'm not always meant to know. If it's for my protection, I'll get a bit more, but if it's something like major change, it's like, I'm gonna read that one more time. There is a change coming that is so big, it will shift all that exists. Okay, I love that. Okay, sorry, I've got more here. So we have, yeah, they help me release my emotions. That's beautiful. Okay, Nung's feeling this. Hallie's feeling this. Cynthia's feeling this. Okay, love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, let's move into the tarot. Again, if you're interested in decks, this is the Modern Witch Tarot. And that oracle I was using, if you missed the beginning of this, I did a unboxing of that. This is a beautiful deck. It's strong cardstock, but it's difficult to shuffle. So I'm going to split it. Okay. Okay. Ooh, okay. Okay, yeah, we've got the Queen of Swords here, which is just, she's very decisive. She knows what she wants. She's so strong in her boundaries. She definitely is the energy of this one, which was against your will, there will not be, no entrance, no welcoming, be gone, right? She's like, you, hell no, you're coming into that inner circle of mine and getting access to my energy if you're someone that's toxic or someone that's not good for me, right? You can always and this is why it's so important to really develop the intuition, because it will like let you know when about someone's intentions, right? Because sometimes people can appear with a mask on, but you can feel the energy, even if you feel like you can't, even if it like you can't explain it, but it's like something feels off because you're feeling their energy field. The energy field's interacting with yours, and it's letting your energy field know that like something's not right. Okay, so trust that. Sometimes it can come down to our wounding, so it is important to explore that a little bit if you're feeling that, oh, hang on, is this coming from this though, right? Okay. There's a real moving on here from past pain, okay? Some of you too, and whether you're watching the live or the replay, there's a message here of like suppressed emotions, unexpressed emotions, and I get it. Sometimes the emotions that come up are A, difficult to deal with, and B, we think, no, well, I can move on from this. It's okay, like I can move on from this, and of course you can move on from this, but if we don't acknowledge the emotions and the feelings that come with it, our body ends up storing it. And that means it starts to affect the nervous system. And that means it starts to affect our energy. And that means it starts to affect our health, okay, with time, over time. So it's important that we acknowledge them. It's important that we express them in whatever way feels good. Some people really express their emotions through crying. I find it like a soul cleanse. Others might express it in many different ways, journaling, writing, like so many ways that we can express our emotions and free them from the body. Sometimes things like craniosacral, a healing modality can be great. Other energy healings as well. And just know that you're your own healer though, okay? So while we get external help at times, what really that person is doing is that they're facilitating a safe space for you to do your own healing, okay? So just remember that. Yeah, no, I've been feeling a bit of that energy myself. I mean, I am nearly on my moon, by the way, so almost got my periods. It's probably a little part of it, but I cried so much leading up to now for some reason. Sometimes we don't need to know the why. I think that's important to remember. And sometimes it's just a matter of just letting it come out. Sometimes our body just is like, this needs to be released, okay? And then just let it take place. And like I always say, never judge the emotions that are coming up for you, because the uncomfortable ones, sometimes we can judge them or we can feel shame, and it's really important we don't do that. So we do have the Three of Swords here, which is just not easy energy. So you could be currently feeling this. You could have maybe had some betrayal, okay? And that's why that energy is coming up around like protecting your spirit, protecting your energy, putting up boundaries, releasing toxicity. And then sometimes too, the Three of Swords can just represent past heartbreak, past pain, whether it's from childhood, our teenage years, our adult years, past relationships, things where we feel like we were done wrong, or even especially in childhood where we feel like, and I'm getting a lot of tingles here, so this always indicates to me that this is something to say. So sometimes too in childhood, not everyone has had a super easy childhood, right? And some of us didn't have the safety that we should have had. Some of us didn't have someone there to protect us, an adult to protect us, or an adult who let things go under the rug, right? And that does a lot to a child. That does a lot to the subconscious, to the nervous system. And as an adult, you have the power to create that safety for yourself. You have that power and you can do that. So sometimes we need some extra help with that, okay? Whether that's Western therapy or, you know, other kind of spiritual modalities. Again, it's about what's doing best for you. Sometimes it's a combination of all. But there is an energy here of past pain, but it's leaving, okay? Because you see here, like all of this black ink, or you could look at it as black gunk. It's like sliding off. So it could just be through this process of releasing this with whatever this is. You could be in the process of going through this currently, like experiencing the rawness of this, and know that there is change coming, there is that shift coming. And just continue to love yourself, take breaks through the healing as much as you need. That's important. And again, getting to know your own energy. But we're moving away from this because this is the first card to come out, followed by the Page of Wands, the Queen of Swords, the King of Cups. And the Page of Wands, this can represent good news, by the way, which don't forget, when I said there is a change coming that is so big it'll shift all that exists. If you're someone that automatically goes to, oh shit, like what does that mean? And you go to more of the catastrophic or to the fear-based stuff because maybe that's what you've been used to, try and switch that. And try and look at it like this change, this big shift could be the welcoming shift and change that I've been desiring and wanting and working towards. Okay, so just shift it to more of that positive versus expecting the more negative, okay, or the harder times. That's really important. And then the Page of Wands also represents a new adventure, but it's the very beginning stages. So like I said, it's like you could have been going through that initiation, which is totally the very green energy, that very beginner's energy, and walking through that, navigating through that. But the Page of Wands, it's a young energy, okay? And traditionally they say it's more of, it can be child or teenage, but I kind of look at it as like it can be an adult that is experiencing that energy, that really young, fresh energy of like, I'm ready to explore, I'm so ready to do this, and that real excitement. So that's coming through as well. Yeah, but I like this because it's like she's looking away. So there's this, but she's not facing it. She's looking away from it. So she's like ready to let stuff go. She's ready to let stuff go. And like I said, the Queen of Swords, this is she's actually related to the sign of Libra. We're in Libra season at the moment. So in Libra season, we need to be mindful of two things, because the opposite sign of Libra is Aries, which is trailblazing, leadership, self-reliance, independence, which are all great things. However, if we go too far into that, then we kind of step away from connection. And connection is really important, which is all around the Libra energy. But the Libra energy can also, the shadow, because everything has its light and shadow, right? And so the shadow side of Libra season is people pleasing. It's codependency. It is giving away so much of self and really lacking boundaries, okay, which is a form of people pleasing, or it's connected to that. So during this time, it's a really great period to have a look at maybe where you're doing that and being like, hey, am I doing things that I don't really want to do to please others? Am I kind of lacking boundaries where people can just come on in and treat me however they want to treat me, right? And then also looking at, but also am I, because you might be on that Aries energy, that trailblazing, I'm going here, I'm moving up, which is beautiful. But you also need to ask yourself, hang on, but am I also neglecting the connections that mean a lot to me? Okay, so just some questions to ask yourself. If you are interested, I do have a Libra season workshop, which includes a huge workbook with so much in there, including some rituals that you can do through Libra season to support you. Okay, and these are all have just come from me, okay? Everything in there. I also have a Libra season reading, so the energy of it as well. And there's a whole heap of journal prompts, so many journal prompts. And again, that are there to support you. And there's also a downloadable meditation that you can listen to. You can save it and you can listen to it as much as you want through Libra season. It's designed to support you through Libra season. However, you can listen to it way after as well if you really enjoy it. And it's $11.11 USD, and the link is in my bio. It's available on the intothefiremysteryschool.com website. Okay, so, and the feedback I've got so far is amazing. One person because it's free within my membership, and one person in the membership said it was so powerful and has been so incredibly helpful. And another has also said, like who's purchased it, has also said it's just been incredibly helpful. So feel free to check that out, okay? So again, the Queen of Swords, having a look at your boundaries, making sure you're not in codependency, or maybe look at where you are, or if you're slipping back into those old patterns, right? Because I used to be so codependent, and yet I can still see sometimes where it's showing up in my current reality, and I'm like, oh, this is a hard pattern to break, right? But it's so important for my own personal evolution and growth to break free from that. And like always, it's a journey. It's a journey. Nothing's overnight. You have to think about how long it took you to get somewhere, right? And so think about your nervous system. We weren't born with chaotic nervous systems. Maybe if we had like a traumatic birth, but still, it's like that's through what happens in life. And so think about how long that takes. So when people go, I want to heal my nervous system, and they expect it to be overnight or within 6 months, it's not always the case, right? Because we've got to do so much to really, really heal it. Yeah, it is ever growing. It is ever growing, but it gets easier because it's like an onion. We peel back a layer after layer after layer. And remember too, healing, this is so important to remember. Healing doesn't just mean fetal position on the ground, crying, feeling the most intense pain of your entire life, okay? It doesn't always mean confronting the shadows. Healing can be breaking free from a pattern. Healing can be being in a romantic connection that is so safe and so healthy that you've never experienced before. Healing can be connecting to the inner child and having fun. Healing can be so many more things. So don't get stuck in the idea or the thought pattern that it has to be hard, it has to be painful. It's not always the case. Sometimes we experience some of that when we're really delving and tapping into really difficult things, but with time that does get easier. And with time, sometimes we can even completely let it go, and other times it just gets more easier to navigate if it comes up. And we have so much self-awareness, which is really important. But then making sure, like, get that idea in your head that healing can be fun. Healing can be so making your heart feel this huge expansion, right? There is so much more to healing than just that other side of it. The King of Cups as well. Okay. So when I mentioned before at the beginning about like there was a message about suppressing and repressing the emotions and the importance to not do that. with the Queen of Swords followed by the the King of Cups. First of all, the Queen of Swords, she's not super emotional. She's a bit cutthroat. She doesn't really express her emotions, right? She doesn't really show that side of herself. The King of Cups is super emotional, but he doesn't really express it. So he holds a lot of emotion like the Queen of Cups, but unlike the Queen of Cups, he holds it in. The Queen of Cups, like, it spills out of her, right? The King of Cups is the opposite of that. So again, the message here, don't repress or suppress the emotions that maybe have come from this, okay? Or any other ones that are coming up for you. Allow them to flow through, and just like, you know, Nung said before, she's like, has cried so much leading up to now for some reason. And sometimes it's just the body and the energy doing a release. And we don't really need to know or discover the reasons. That's something too important to remember. Just let it release. Feel that, and then move forward. And you can do things to help support you through that, like flower essences, for example, are great. They're so handy and so fantastic. And there's many other things as well that can help you support you through that. All right, I'm gonna get a couple more, then I'll close it out with an oracle. So what else do we need to know for this week, please? Okay, we got 2 kings now. We have the King of Pentacles. Okay, don't forget too, with this new moon this weekend, you can manifest, all right? You can manifest. And having a look as well around what it is that, first of all, are your values, getting really clear on your values, getting clear on what it is that you want and why you want it. Okay? Now, if you want like a Gucci bag, you want a Gucci bag. You don't need to know, like, you don't be like, oh, this is why I want it. Like, you can have it if you want it, right? But if you want something like really big change, if you want to create something for yourself, whatever it is that feels bigger, get clear on the why. Because when you're clear on the why, when you hit that period of feeling like it's never gonna freaking happen, and when we reach the highest point of that, that is the point where we're about to break through, and that is the point where we can really almost give up or self-sabotage. So if we know our why, and we're feeling tired, when we're feeling frustrated, when we're feeling impatient, it's really important too with the eclipse season. You might feel a lot of impatience energy, and Spirit's like, tough luck. The universe is like, tough luck. Like, feel impatient as much as you want. You're not in control right now, right? You're in control of yourself. So don't worry, but more like you're not in control of like the manifestations or what it is you're wanting to create for yourself, or anything that's leaving your life that you can't control, right? It's a big lesson around eclipse season of where we're trying to control. Whenever I've tried to hold on to something really tightly during eclipse season, it's like I'm thrown on my ass and Spirit will take it away, right? Always for your highest good. So getting clear on what you want and the why. When you have the why, then when you hit that point, you're able to look back at that why and write it down. That's really handy. Writing it down, looking at that, and it just will give you that push of motivation, right? We just will reignite something within you. It's helpful. Having a look at your finances as well. If you're someone that like has anxiety around money, or you feel maybe you're struggling financially, okay? And that's, I mean, I'm hearing like, do not feel ashamed about that, okay? Don't feel shame. I am hearing that. But if you are someone that's, you know, whether you're just like, you maybe not have the best relationship with money, maybe like no one taught you how to work with money, okay, which I think is probably most of us. It's something that I feel like should be taught in school, like on also how to regulate the nervous system. That would have been helpful to learn. But if you're experiencing that, confront it, okay? If you're someone that like feels physically sick or gets really anxious at the thought of having to look at your bank account, there is something for you to work through, something for you to acknowledge and work through. Plenty of great resources out there, but really just a simple journaling can be super, super helpful in that sense, okay? But also just having a look at your finances. Maybe you're thinking of investing. Maybe you're thinking of ways to take that one pentacle and turn it into many, because the King of Pentacles is very abundant. He's also super generous, right? He will give to those around him that he loves and adores. He will give to charity, things like that. But he's very generous with his resources, with his time, with his energy. But he's got strong boundaries too. Okay, this feels really specific. There's something, because the King of Pentacles is a Taurus, okay? So there's something here around, I'm hearing connected to a Taurus energy. Don't even go there. It's literally what I'm hearing right now. Connecting to a Taurus energy, don't even go there. Sometimes we get retested. Sometimes people come back into our life to give us a test, okay? And maybe in the past we would have just gone like back over here, and then we experienced this through the situation, and Spirit's like, don't even, like, do not even go there. Don't even go there. That feels super specific. And look at that, the Two of Cups in the bottom. So yeah, that's connected. Don't do it or you'll end up here. Okay, sometimes that happens for a lesson, but okay. All right, I think that's good. So I'm gonna grab a oracle to close this out. It seems this has resonated with a lot of you here in the live, so thank you for commenting. I appreciate it. Let me know too in the comments on YouTube or Instagram if this has resonated with you. If you're new to my YouTube, feel free to subscribe for more videos. If you resonate this video, you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, or give it a love heart here on Instagram. Feel free to share your stories. Feel free to share it with someone you feel like, oh my God, this message is so for this person. Feel free to share it. Tag them, or you can just, I think you can like send it through Messenger, because I do allow that through my settings. Okay, let's get a closing message here, please. I've got 2. Okay, I'm also going to read the bottom, but I'm going to start here. We have campfire. Do not fear opening your mouth and allowing your tongue to speak. I mean, self-explanatory, and also we've been talking about it. This is expressing your boundaries. This is letting someone know when they've overstepped your boundaries or they're getting close to pushing the boundary. This is also, like, don't be afraid to have self-expression. Don't be afraid to show up and be who you are. We tend to be so afraid of this, and I'm guilty of myself, right? We tend to get fear around this because we don't want to be judged. We don't want people to look at us a certain way or to think a certain way about us and to judge us and not see us for who we really are. At the end of the day, people are always going to judge. There's always going to be someone, okay? And that's because we're not for everyone. And when we try to be for everyone, we end up letting people in our lives that are not for us and who we should not be letting in, right? And when we are our complete and total authentic self, we become a magnet for people that resonate with that. We become a magnet for the people that are meant for us in such a good, positive way, like soul family. We also become a magnet for our desires for manifestation. So if you're really wanting to manifest, the best way to do that is to just be you. Your complete and total authentic self will be a magnet to the opportunities that are for you, that will help you get to that space, that place, or the thing that you desire. It will be a magnet for the actual manifestation just to literally come in. It also, being your complete, total, authentic self, allows you to have a really close connection to the soul, to the higher self, to the intuition. And when you have that, you're able to receive the clear guidance, because we all have access to this, guys. It's just like a muscle. It just takes time to build and to grow and to get stronger. So when you have that really clear, strong connection, then you know when it's time to take action on something. You know who to talk to, who to network with, who to collaborate with, who not to collaborate with, who not to network with, right? Who to be in a relationship with, who not to be in a relationship with. Like, because when we have a desired place that we want to be, where we feel our soul is calling us to, right? Doesn't mean that where you are now is no good, okay? Where you are right now, no matter what you're experiencing, no matter how you're feeling, this is a part of your journey. And you can just keep moving forward, right? But when we're not connected to the intuition, we easily veer off path. Not that that's a wrong thing, because that comes with lessons. Sometimes that's even a part of the initiation. But eventually we'll always come back into alignment. It's just, and I say that not through what I've heard, I say that through personal experience. Okay, so don't be afraid to speak your truth. Don't be afraid to put boundaries down. Do not be afraid to have really strong self-expression. All right, we have Scarecrow. So remember that you are not alone. Move with confidence as you are guided. I'm not even going to go into that because that's literally, I've spoken about it so much already. So that's the artwork here on this one. All right. Okay, then on the bottom we have tea magic. Reach into your subconscious, pull from the source and weave magic with intention, and the answers will unfold. Reach into your subconscious, like I spoke about before. You might need to do that with whatever it is, okay? Whether it's the codependency, whether it's the money, whether it's relationship, whatever it is. Pull from the source to the source of what it is in the subconscious and weave your magic with intention, and the answers will unfold. So weaving your magic, this can be alchemize. So alchemizing, right? Turning this darkness, and darkness doesn't mean evil, but turning the darkness, the shadow, into light. That's alchemization. Transmuting it, clearing it, all of that, okay? And we can do that in so many different ways. So what is your magic? Again, to the very beginning, what is your magic? And when we do it with such intention, like, it's amazing, okay? And the answers will unfold. You'll receive the answers from your inner self, from spirit, through dreams, which is also from spirit and also from yourself, through other people, okay? So physical people. And that, I always find that's like, those people are totally, they come into our life, or they are in our life, and they say the most perfect thing at the right time that we need to hear. And maybe we've heard it before from other people, but we weren't ready to hear it, or it just kind of went over our head, or didn't fully resonate at the time. But then we hear it eventually again, and it's like, whew, that hit me, and that's exactly what I needed to hear. That is spirit talking through people, okay? And giving us what we need. All right, beautiful souls. Thank you for those who joined the live and to join in the chat. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you those who are watching the replay. Please comment if this resonates, by the way. Appreciate you all so very much. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Hope eclipse season is doing okay for you. Remember, if you're finding it difficult, just surrender to it, which is also difficult, but just surrender to it as much as you can. Reach out for external support through whatever avenue that you need to, if it's just really good friends. And remember too that everything's temporary. Everything's temporary. And when I say that, don't think, oh my God, I'm happy right now. Does that mean it's temporary and I'm going to experience sadness? No. But if you're experiencing a period that's really difficult, sometimes it feels like we're just above water and we can't get out of it, or we're trying to climb up a ladder and we keep falling down, or there's steps missing or whatever. And we can feel like we're going to be stuck there forever. You're not. I've been there myself, and sometimes we navigate out of that quickly. Other times it's a real process. But remember, even through the process, you are making progress, okay? So just remember that. And just be easy on yourself. Don't judge the emotions that are coming up for you. You're welcome, Tally. You're welcome. And Steph, wonderful. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate your support. Appreciate all of you so very much. And I will see you guys really soon.